This is the first episode.
This is episode number 1.
Yeah, the inaugural episode of Stories for the Grandkids. Me and Chris have been working tremendously hard to put something really special together for, ourselves, obviously, but for everybody else who kind of watches us and appreciates what we do from
with
a
some help on the back end as well.
Yeah,
so
and we've had a very great team kind of help us put all of this together. We're putting a long list of very influential people in the city together for you guys, trying to get to know them better and their stories behind what they do and who they are. So yeah, for ladies, gentlemen, and all future grandchildren or not grandchildren,
that's up to you.
To you to decide. Welcome to Stories for the Grandkids, and our first guest, none other than Mr. Infamous himself,
the man.
You guys know him as James of the City. You guys know him as James of the City. We know him as our newfound gay best friend. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, guys.
What's going on?
It's going.
You chilling?
I'm chilling.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Not hungover.
Not hungover.
We will not talk about last night's Paris,
Okay,
Texas.
we're not going to talk about what happened last night. Okay,
Paris, Texas. Me and Chris.
Does it rhyme with Ring Street?
Ring Street? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why do we go there?
We who? Okay, you're speaking fucking French.
I can't even. Absolutely, I was there. I was there literally a weekend ago, and I got the bubonic plague, and I barely made it.
Because you went to Ruby Soho.
No, we didn't. Ruby Soho.
We had
I just made a video looking at it. I never go inside there. We all know that.
I think that's why I started following Chris was because of a Ruby Soho video. Like during COVID, he made some video, and I literally stitched it, and it was like, "This is my nightmare. Like
Really?
I will not walk by this place. I will cross the street. I don't want my soul snatched." And the funny thing is, I had my first date with my partner at Ruby Soho.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't guess that from you. I was not taking like Ruby Soho as like a first date.
I didn't pick it. He did.
Fair.
And
that should have been your first.
I know, but it was like, 5:30 glass of wine, Ruby Soho, meet me there. And I'm like, aggressive, I like it. You're kind of hot. Sure. And the best part, he had no idea. Well, no, because like he had no idea who I was.
Okay.
Right? Because like I get a lot of guys who are like, I want to go out with you because I love James of the City. I'm like, no. You don't get that accent. You don't get that right.
Okay.
This guy had no idea who I was. Like we had no mutuals in common on social media,
That's
like
nice.
Nothing.
That's nice. And do you like that better? We've talked about this before about like dating people who are in the kind of spotlight or dating people who are completely the fuck out of it. I've been leaning towards and like enjoy dating someone who's not in it whatsoever. Chris is on the fence. So maybe you could give some advice for him because he's on the fence about it.
I was all over because like my last relationship, although she wasn't as public facing herself, her business was very public facing, and like our relationship was very public facing. And now regrouping, I'm thinking either somebody's got to be like full-fledged influencer or like completely out of the spotlight. None of the like in-betweeny.
Yeah. I can't date an influencer because I don't want to compete.
Oh.
Like it's not,
That's fair.
Yeah, like I don't want to
compete with them or compete with like the spotlight. Like what do you
with
mean?
them.
Okay.
I want them to do their own thing.
Okay.
And I don't want my stuff to take over.
Okay.
But I don't want someone who's in the scene. I don't want someone who's well known. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't date someone that like is known elsewhere outside of like our little circle.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think I'm the same way. I'm like dating somebody now and she's like very private to herself. And I love that. I've dated somebody who's like, or not dated, but I've seen people who are like more in the spotlight, more have a voice and a following. Not enjoyable.
No.
I don't find it enjoyable whatsoever. It's one of those things that I would rather stay away from for the rest of my life than anything else. So I get it 100%.
Like I've been on dates with people in like the reality space.
Oh, really?
Or
Okay.
like the celebrity space, and that's very awkward because it's like you can't really talk about it or go out in certain places.
Yeah.
Because you can't really be
Yeah,
seen.
you can't be seen.
Yeah.
So I want to get like, just before we get into like the dating thing and the relationships and all of that, I want to know more about you. Obviously, like you have been around for years, and I'm not trying to age you by.
I was going to say that in age.
I'm not trying to age you by any means.
He's trying to age.
But
He's trying to age.
you've been around.
I know. I have no hair. I get it. Thanks, Mo.
No, but you know what? Okay, I was going to
hair
talk about
looks
this too
good.
because I feel like me and you are kind of in the same place where like I have no hair,
Yeah.
but it's bald by choice. And bald by choice means you have to be good looking.
Yeah.
You have to be good looking to be bald by choice. And somebody
I
said
saw
this-
pictures of you before when I was doing my like deep dive on your content before this, and like you look good with no hair.
I love
That's what I'm saying.
You look good
This is
with
my
no
point.
hair.
So when
Yeah.
you're bald by choice, it's because you're good looking.
Yeah.
You can't be bald by choice and be like ugly at the same time. It just
Yeah,
doesn't. You
it
have
doesn't
to
work.
have
Yeah.
a good looking face to do it. So bald by choice is a thing. But I want to know more about like how you got started. Obviously, you've been around forever. You've done anything you can in social or everything you can in social media. So like the floor is yours. I want to hear the backstory. Give me the details.
Yeah, so I started my real estate career, I think it's going on 13 years now, and I started on social media. I didn't want to be the classic realtor who's just listed, just sold.
Yeah.
Here's my open house. No one gives a fuck about that. Right. So I got on social media like before ever the realtor. Like they were using Facebook groups. I mean, no one uses Facebook.
Yeah.
Not my grandparents. You know what I mean? So I got on IG and really started pushing educational content about real estate.
Yeah.
Like how to buy a house, steps to buy a house when selling your home, things to do, things not to do, what you should put away when you're selling your house, like all these little tidbits.
Yeah.
And then I started doing videos about local establishments.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd go to the grocery store in certain neighborhoods or like the local coffee shops. And that's how the influencing thing started.
Yeah.
It wasn't like me trying to be an influencer. It was just like, all right, I'm here in Cabbagetown. I'm at Rocket Fuel Coffee. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And it just grew from there. And then brands started reaching out and were like, hey, would you promote this for us? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Then PR agencies were like, come to our event and do this, and let's do this, do this. And because I started with James in the City right off the bat,
Mm-hmm.
it's just been consecutive, like in your face every single day for the last 13 years of James in the City, that now people forgot my last name.
Yeah. It's how do I pronounce it?
Milonas.
Milonas. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know you like specifically by James in the City. Like it's I've known you like that for like the last like few years. I was saying this before, like at the beginning of the podcast. And
No, and it's known.
You're
too.
like an icon
I
of the
go
city,
places
yeah.
and like people are like, "Oh, you know James? Oh my gosh, I love him!" Like you're one of the people that I've had conversations brought up of like, "Oh, you know James more than probably anybody else."
Yeah.
Or anybody that I know through social media in like random conversations with random people.
I get that a lot. And it's weird too, because people be like, oh yeah, you know, like my friend James. And then they'll stop, be like, you mean James in the City?
yeah.
And that's the weird thing. When I hear it, I'm like, is that how people know? It's just like, it's James in the City. It's not James the realtor. It's not James the whatever else. It's just James in the City.
Yeah.
Like it's become my persona.
Yeah. And I think that you've done a really good job of like honing in on it. And I know like we've talked about this before about like what kind of brand you're creating for yourself. And I think it's very important to see like what you've done for yourself. Like fashion is such a big part of what you've done. If anybody goes to your socials, you can tell that like you really have your shit together when it comes to style. And like, you know, outside of that, you're also so big into the gym. Like it's not just realty anymore or like being a realtor in general. It's you've done such a good job of expanding your brand. And I think it's really important to see that because like I don't think a lot of people are doing that specifically and like especially from a realty perspective.
Yeah, and this is my problem with a lot of realtors. And you know, I'm going to use King Street as an example. You look at the King Street realtors,
Okay.
male or female, it's the classic douchebag aesthetic, right? Or the bottle service girl aesthetic.
Facts.
No, I'm not trying to be rude.
It's true. No, you're right.
Every bottle service girl at some point retires and becomes
a realtor.
realtor.
Once they
For
become
sure.
31
It's
years
the
old and they
natural
can't make their
pipeline.
tips anymore, they become a realtor. That's just what it
It's
is.
a fact. It's a fact.
like a
It's
flight
the
attendant.
natural progression pipeline.
It's like a flight attendant at 35. They become a realtor.
Yeah.
It's the natural progression of life. But they all have the same aesthetic, and their social media is all the same. It's like, let's go to Tulum, let's vibe in Tulum. Like, no, like
It's true. Real.
Okay.
Am I lying?
No, you're
No,
right.
no,
For sure.
no.
You're
That's
good.
why.
What was
Yeah,
Nicki Minaj?
it's
Did I
true.
lie? Did I fucking lie? No, but so for me, I've always wanted my brand to be who I am.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted my social media to be everything. So it's 20% business, 80% personal. Because I have this method that I've stolen from a girlfriend of mine, and it's called the ROI method.
Okay.
In real estate, ROI is return on investments. In our business, like my friend Jeff, who created a company called the Listings Lab, and I've stolen this from her, and I use it when I teach my own agents how to build their social media. It's relevancy, omnipresence, intimacy. And most people in general are good with the first two. They're relevant, right? Like they're talking about the market trends. They're talking about, for you guys, like dating advice. They're omnipresent. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're on Snapchat. They're whatever else.
Yeah.
People fail to be intimate. And I think one thing that you've done really well is being intimate with your past relationships and like where you struggled, where you failed, where you've succeeded. A lot of realtors don't get intimate. I'm not saying talk about your sex life. I'm talking about your personal life. Like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
If you're, you know, a realtor who's a mom, talk about your kids.
For sure.
Like, you know, my day starts off at 6 in the morning, get my kids up, breakfast, school, drop off them in the office.
Yeah.
So for me, my intimacy is the gym. It's the fact that I talk about my struggle with drugs.
Yeah.
Like I'll be going on, I think 16 years clean from cocaine and heroin
Wow,
this year.
bro, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
So backhand. There we go. Like this hand doesn't work for some reason.
That's
The mic's in my
amazing.
way.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about that stuff, and I talk about, you know, when I lost my hair.
Yeah.
Right. Like I started losing my hair when I was 19. My crown went bald first.
Yeah.
Part of it was, you know, from 20 years of playing sports.
Yeah.
But also it was stress from my parents' divorce.
Yeah.
And then it started thinning over the years. And then during COVID, it got really, really thin. And 2 years ago, I decided to make the step to shave it all off.
Yeah.
And I got the hairline tattoo. So I have full SMP in my head. And I talked about it on my social media. I did the full journey with that. And it brought people in. And that intimacy is what really helps people connect with you.
For sure.
Because now when I walk into a listing appointment or meeting a new client, my meetings are 7 minutes long because they don't care to get to know me. They already know me.
Yeah.
My entire life is on social media.
It's true, eh? When you think about it, like we've talked about this before about like being able to like show who you are and like exemplify that on a day-to-day basis. And Chris does a really good job of it. I feel like I've like taken a step back from it a little bit because I felt like it was like too personal for me where I was putting everything online. Whereas like Chris still does like a really good job of like showing that. And so do you. It's like a very obvious showcase of who you are and like what steps you've taken to be successful in the space that you're in. So I think it says a lot. And like, how do you, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, what's really helped you with like being your most authentic self behind camera?
Yeah.
Because I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people struggle with, or the fear of like being authentic behind camera, making yourself vulnerable. Like, what's helped you put yourself out there?
I think just the fact that I grew up playing rep sports,
Mm-hmm.
so I've always been a very confident person. But I think the biggest challenge I had was during COVID because I got a lot of hate on my social media.
Yeah.
Because realtors were making more money than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of people who unfortunately were being kicked out of their homes
Mm-hmm.
because either they couldn't pay their rent or, the place was being sold or whatever it was. So realtors got a lot of hate. But I got a lot of hate, especially because of how successful I was during COVID.
For sure.
And I wasn't shy about it.
Yeah.
Like I talked about the fact that I did like 40 buyer deals in 1 year.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
Crazy.
It's crazy, but
those are numbers that would be hard to replicate.
Oh yeah,
Again.
I've not had a year like that since. But it's just like I talked about what I was doing in a day, and people hated on it.
Yeah.
And the fact that I am pro gentrification,
Yeah.
right? And people don't like that. I'm sorry. Like gentrification is a good thing.
Yeah.
It changes the scope of the neighborhood. It brings in new jobs. People think that real estate is all about realtors getting rich. It has nothing to do with that. One house, I think the ripple effect's like 80 jobs.
Yeah.
By the time you factor in like land surveyors and architects and designers and tradespeople, like it helps so many people. And if you look at an old strip mall, you tear that strip mall down, you can build 40 townhouses or 200 condo units?
Yeah.
That's
how many
housing.
Dollaramas do we need in a strip mall?
That-
too? Like,
exactly.
truly.
How many dollars do we need? Like how many, rundown dry cleaners or
Sport
laundromats do we
checks
need?
and-
Yeah. So how do you deal with that? Like from the hate side of things? Like, cause I know, again, we dealt with like our own fair share of stuff. And like, I know you deal with it more than I do, but how do you deal with like,
I am
going
the
about it?
king of the clapback. Like you come for me and I will put you back in your place. I did not send for you.
I agree with that. I think digging your heels in is the best way to deal with it now. And even though like PR might say like, no, just like be quiet, just leave it alone. I think a lot of these people like type things on a thing and think that they can get away with and like be mean and be rude. No one's going to say anything back. And when you do, it really makes people think twice.
And the
Like,
funny
oh
thing-
wait, I'm not safe to just be mean to people online.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
they can say things back to me. Whoa.
Yeah. Because like they don't have the guts to say it to your face.
Yeah.
And I think we dealt with someone during COVID who had hate for both of us. I'll mention the person's name offline. But I ran into this individual at a restaurant opening on King Street.
Oh, no shit.
And they had a lot to say about me online.
Never in person.
So when I confronted them in person, they would not say it to me. I was like, what happened now, Hooked on Phonics? Like, where's your words? You can't say it? Like, I'm right here. Say it to my face. They wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, was this somebody who's like favorite, like who's in the space, or is it like just like a random, like you guys know mutually? You don't need to like drop names, obviously.
No,
but, like,
they became famous during COVID.
interesting. Okay, I guess I need to be looped in on the.
Yeah, we'll talk about this
on
one
the
off
thing
the record after. But yeah, there's also definitely a big, at least in my notice of, because I spent some time down in Florida this year.
Yeah.
And like my socials there were much more clean. Like people were not coming after me. People were not like whatever. Then I came back to Toronto and there's like an emphasis of hate here and hating on people who put themselves out here. And I'm sure we run into a lot of the same characters who are just like malevolently like hating on you, leaving these mean things, tearing you down. Like people like, oh, like my teeth are fucked up, like you're ugly, like you need this, that. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, why is it here and why is it festered so much here that it drives this hate?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get the same thing when I was in the
No.
States at all.
It's weird, eh?
Yeah.
I just clap back at them. Like, when I was losing my hair during COVID on social media, like, oh, your hair's thinning. I'm like, that's great. My wallet's still fat.
Yeah.
That's all. Period.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right?
Period. No, it's true though. You're right.
Yeah.
I get that all the time. People love the bald comments, and I've said it
Yeah.
before. Like, I'm bald by choice. I have hair. I choose not to fucking grow it out.
You probably know the same 5 like meme things that people say to you in a box, and I could list them off right now. And you
That's
just hear
it.
the same thing over and over again. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, at least give me something original. Like, be creative.
Well,
like,
that's what it is. It's the same
like
thing.
actually sting me, please. Give me
Do
something that I'm like,
something.
ooh, good one.
Do
Exactly.
Like, good one.
The
Yeah.
bald thing, I know it's like a joke and we like play it, and I'm sure you've obviously experienced the same thing. But at the end of the day, it's like what you said. Like, I made a video I've made multiple videos, and anytime somebody who's like upset about anything, it's the first thing they want to talk about is like hairline, you're bald, you're this. First of all, I'm better looking than you. Shut the fuck up. First and foremost, I'm way fucking better looking than you. Second of all, ask your girlfriend if she'd want to be with you, be with me. Big fucking difference, okay? Second of all, can you bench 400 pounds?
I was gonna say I could bench your dad.
If you can't bench 400 pounds, shut the fuck up and don't speak to me.
That's exactly
Get
it.
the fuck out of my comment section. And it's the same thing. If you don't have the same wallet, if you don't have the same jewelry on, you're not wearing the same thing, don't talk to James, okay? We're here to ride for James. Shut the fuck up. Mind your business.
Also, people above you are
bitches.
never going to hate
This
on
episode of Stories for the Grandkids is sponsored by Moon Poker, the #1 non-gambling poker app where you can play for real cash prizes without spending a dime. Moon Poker offers daily hyper turbo tournaments with a $225 USD prize pool and an engaging mini game you can enjoy anytime, anywhere, with the chance to spin the prize wheel to win up to $1 million USD. With no purchase required, Moon Poker delivers a fun, risk-free gaming experience for poker and video game enthusiasts alike. Download Moon Poker now and get in the game today.
Never going to hate on you.
No, that's not.
something
Well,
because they can't afford to be in the same space.
Yeah.
Talk your shit, James. Okay, it's true. It's very true.
It's facts.
So obviously, Stories for the Grandkids, we talk about like dating is like a big thing for us. Me and Chris are both, dating content creators, influencers, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I feel like dating's also a pillar to a lot of lifestyle creators, though, to a certain extent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's something that's a very integral part of your life and something that's like real.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, what's the scenario right now with you? Are you dating? Are you in a relationship? Single? What's the vibe?
I
We hit
am
a
in a interesting spot right now. So I've been with my partner for over a year.
Okay.
And a little while ago, he decided to take a break.
Oh, okay.
So it's been very awkward because the communication has been, it was a lot on his side in the beginning, like checking in for like at bedtime, like good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. And then it gradually decreased a little bit. And then I started the communication back again. So he is the love of my life.
Yeah.
Like I have never loved anyone the way I've loved Nathan. And I will say his name. Like I've not loved anyone since him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
love
He is my best friend. He's my partner. He's my family. He is the man that I'm going to marry.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the relationship, it's the best relationship either one of us have ever been in.
Yeah.
And I think he just got scared
Yeah.
because he's been single for 10 years.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Like he's dated
And,
guys
and
here
commitment
there.
is scary,
It
right?
is.
Like at a certain point, a lot of people get cold feet, especially if you've been single for 10 years. Like,
yeah, like he's dated guys here and there, but it's been like 3 months, 4 months. But we live together.
Yeah.
Like
It's different from being like committed to somebody. Like we've both been through scenarios, and I'm sure you have too, of like dating, like what you're saying, 3 months, like you see people, you have these times, whatever. But like when it's commitment, it's a whole different, it's a whole different ball game.
So like I'm not giving up on the relationship. I'm now going no contact.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him just come back when he's ready because he's not moved out of my house. So we have 2 houses between us. So we split time between our 2 houses.
Okay.
So he's not moved out of my house.
yeah.
Has not brought my stuff back. Has not exchanged keys. Still stalks my social media like crazy. Will comment every so often,
Yeah.
but asks about me to our mutual friends.
So it's still good signs.
It's all good. All the signs are there.
Yeah. But at a certain point, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. And that's usually like, okay, take the blinders. Like you're not going to creep my stuff and see how I'm doing. This is either happening or like you're not seeing my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's unfortunately the best way to do it sometimes is to rip the blinders off and force somebody to make a decision, right?
Yeah. So like I have a time frame in my head of when I'm gonna make that move.
Yeah.
But for now I'm gonna just stay no contact, let him do his shit, and like the love is there. You know what I mean?
of
Like
course.
the love is there on both sides.
Okay. So like for us, like again, me and Chris, we've been through a good amount of relationships between the two of us over the last like few years.
Yeah, a couple of relationships.
What's like a piece of advice you think that you would give us when it comes to relationships after you being so committed and falling in love and doing these things? What's your best piece of advice that you'd give one of us about being in a healthy, committed relationship with somebody?
I would say, and I've taken this break as a period for myself to reflect on this, is reflect on your boundaries.
Okay.
What can you accept in a relationship and what can you not? Like what will you tolerate and what can you compromise on?
Interesting. Okay.
So I was married for 11 years.
Yeah.
Right. Like I spent all of my 20s with my ex-husband, and I knew my life a certain way. Like I knew dinner at a certain time, that when he came home, I had dinner ready for him. Certain things were done a certain way. Laundry was certain days, cleanings were certain days. Like I had a regimen with him.
Yeah.
And that relationship ended in turmoil. And then I had a couple of the relationships that I'd been cheated on, and I brought that into my relationship with Nathan. Not intentionally. It was the baggage that I was carrying through, and also dealing with abandonment issues and things like that. So now I've realized I've jotted down what I cannot tolerate in a relationship.
Yeah.
And what I can. So, if you don't want to be home at 7 o'clock for dinner, that's not a problem. Just tell me what time you're coming home. So I would say for you guys, like, have that conversation with your current girlfriends or future girlfriends or future partners down the road, and just be like, these are my non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Right? Like, communication is key to me.
Yeah.
I don't need to see you every single day. You can text me every single day. You can call me when you want to, but I don't need to see you every single day.
Yeah.
You need to have your own life outside of me.
Yeah.
Right? But the respect thing has got to be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say like my biggest advice would be working on your boundaries and your non-negotiables.
I love that.
If I can piggyback on that too, I think coming out of my last relationship, when I did some like self-reflection and like, what am I looking for in the future and like what's important to me in a future relationship, one of the things that I just spent some time on is like, what pieces did I lose in this last relationship that I don't want to lose again? And how can I make sure that there's boundaries set so that I don't lose those pieces of me again? And I think it ties into the boundaries of like, you need to set boundaries, but what's the intention of the boundaries? Like, you need to keep certain pieces of you, and that's why you're setting those boundaries. And what are those pieces, and how do you make sure that you keep each bit of that in that relationship so that you show up too? Because you lose bits and pieces of you by not showing up properly in a relationship, and then in 6 months you're not who you were on day one anymore either, right?
And you need to keep each other accountable and committed to your goals. So if fitness is a big thing for you, like for both of you, you both need to be in the gym together at least one day a week.
Yeah. Oh, together?
Yep.
See, I can't do that.
No, you don't have to work out together.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say
no, but I actually agree with that. Also, if you're like in a relationship with somebody, if you can intermingle certain parts of your routines together, it makes it a lot easier to keep up with those routines of like, hey, like we both like to go to the gym. We don't have to work out together, but we wake up at the same time in the morning, go to the gym at the same time, and then go about our day. But it's kind of like a moment that you can have together, even if it's not physically working out together too. Yeah. That building a bit of routine together is healthy as well.
Like our Saturday routine was like that. We'd wake up, we'd have coffee, we'd have a little bit of breakfast, shower, off to the gym.
Yeah.
And we'd work out separately, like do our own things in the gym.
Yeah.
One of us, whenever the first one is done, grab the other one, come back, shower again, and head out for brunch. Like that was our Saturday routine. So you're in the gym, you're keeping each other accountable by being there together, but you don't have to work out together. Because I can't train with anyone else.
No, I'm the same way.
I'm not going to take off 2 plates for a 25.
Man, you're strong. Strong dude. What's the numbers looking like right now? Bench press. What's the? So
I can't do a flat bench press. I have a tear in my shoulder that has fucked everything.
Okay.
So I'm all dumbbell and incline only.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is probably better for you anyways.
Yeah, but I'm also like, I'm a lower body guy. I'm all legs.
Are you? Yeah.
I'm all legs. I train legs twice a week.
What's the squats looking like?
4.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Good for you. For how many?
8 to 12.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
How much you weigh? You're like a big dude though.
I've been steady at 240 now for the last week, so I'm gonna say 240.
You're like what, 6'3",
I'm almost 6'5".
6'5"?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. That's a really good weight for
yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know if you know, like I do coaching, like that's like my full time.
Okay.
My full time gig. So I've worked with bodybuilders. I've been a bodybuilder. My brother's a bodybuilder. Like everybody in my life is pretty much, this is like what we do.
Yeah.
So like hearing that, it's very impressive.
Yeah, like I was an athlete my whole life. Like I played sports, like rep my whole way through. My ex-partner previous to Nathan was my personal trainer.
Okay.
And he's also very big on social media, and he reshaped my body. Because I was coming off my divorce, and I knew what I was doing, but he was like, "You're doing it the wrong way."
Yeah.
Right. So that got me back into it. And then I ran a couple of marathons, and my body really changed last year. Like I went down to like 8% body fat.
Yeah. Because
I saw a big transformation from you, even since I've known you, where like you really locked in, like you got there, you were in the gym, like you were doing everything, which was good to see.
The running was great. It was a great like mental release, but I lost a lot of lower body muscle mass. Like my ass went like from a Kardashian to a Jenner. Like there was nothing left.
Not Kylie though.
Well, Kylie's is all silicone, but no shade.
Fair
but
enough.
you know what I mean, right? So like, but I was shredded. Like the abs were popping. Like the whole body was like if I shaved, I would have cut myself and bled. Like, that's how thin I was. And it wasn't healthy.
It's not like people think that that's what they want for like the rest of their lives. And I've gone to that point so many times, obviously with like going through like bodybuilding preps and like whatever, getting to that point of being so lean, like it's disgusting almost.
Yeah.
And you don't recognize yourself. That's like always my biggest issue with it, is that I don't even know who I am or who I'm looking at. It's a whole different thing. Right?
Like I'm comfortable at like 10.5% body fat.
Yeah.
But I'm just shitting. Just sitting high at that. Just sitting high at that. About 11% right now. And I'm happy with that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're ripped right now. I saw you. I don't know if you were in the gym yesterday or today. I was looking through your stories and you got veins popping through, abs.
The veins have always been there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, well, so another part of like what I wanted, my biggest reason was we need to do a critique of Christopher. because I need to understand why Chris's comment section is looking like Church Street on a day-to-day basis. Every video,
It's
like
actually crazy.
It's like he's outside Woody's or outside Cruising Tangos getting yelled at every single minute, and I need to understand what's going on.
I would also like to understand.
Well, it's mostly because I've told the internet that Chris and I are in a relationship.
You guys are in a public relationship now?
I like to fuck
Damn, I
with
didn't know
Chris.
you changed my name.
I like to fuck with Chris sometimes, so I'll like, I'll drop in his comment section, be like, "Daddy, you're not single. You got me."
Daddy, you're not single.
It's so funny.
I
Every
love
time
doing
see
it to
it,
my
I
straight
love
friends.
it.
I love
I
fucking with my
know.
straight friends.
I
It's
love
the best
that.
thing
I
ever.
know.
But honestly, like a lot of my gay friends, like, how do you know Chris Pooli? How do you know Chris Pooli? I'm like, we're
Really,
bros.
eh?
Like,
Yeah.
we're bros, right? And they're like, he's so fucking hot. I'm like, yeah, I know. Do you think I have ugly friends? No.
Yes, I'll take it.
Right?
You
So
think I
like,
have
like
ugly
the
friends?
homos love Chris, and
The homos love Chris. Are we allowed to say that?
I'm one of them.
You're
So I can
allowed
say
to.
it.
Cancel me.
Yeah,
My
we're
bad.
allies.
It was an accident.
But you know
We're
what it is though
allies.
with Chris though? It's like, you get that, you live on King Street, you have that King West aesthetic sometimes. You don't come across as a King Street bro. And I think that's what makes you so approachable. Right. And
I
how
appreciate
open you are on
that.
social media. I think that's what people love about you. Cause like you are what you like, what you see is what you get is who you are. That's just you. Right. Like you don't come across as a douchebag.
Yeah.
Right. And I
I
think
try
that's
not to.
why some people are just so drawn to you because you have good energy.
Yeah.
And you're hot as shit.
Appreciate
So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you. That was the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me on a podcast. So
You've done like 3. He's making it sound like he's done
Yeah.
like 30 of these.
I know,
yeah,
right?
that's good.
It's like I'm a podcast pro. I've my own IMDb
Yeah.
available on iTunes.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so talking about dating, talking about Chris, Church Street, the whole thing. What do you find? Like, I'm sure you have many like single girlfriends or like even like straight girlfriends, straight guy friends, the whole scenario. What are the biggest differences that you found dating, like as a gay man versus like your friends who go through the straight relationships?
Real simple. Gays fuck first, date second.
What? Break
Sorry.
it down. Break it down.
Yeah, you got to test drive the car before you buy it.
Bro, what the fuck? We can never do that.
No.
We can never even say that. Wait, so
No.
that's a thing?
Yeah.
So you guys hook up first.
Yes.
Y'all hook up first.
Yep.
Do your thing.
Yep.
And then you realize, okay, I guess I could take this person seriously.
Yeah. So I'm the
Interesting.
opposite. Like I don't fuck on the first date.
Okay. So
Like
you
I
have
made
your
Nathan
cycle.
wait until date 5
Date 5
before I
Okay.
slept with him. Before he even see me naked. Like I would not.
Really?
Yep.
I respect that.
Didn't send him a dick pic. Didn't do any of that. Like
Send him a dick pic is epic.
What's the thought behind it? What's the reason?
there was something about him that was different, so I wanted
Okay.
to know him more.
Mm.
I've like in the past I've hooked up with guys and I'm like, yeah, I would never date you.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of gays will go to Woody's or, a bathhouse or off Grinder and they will hook up with someone. And then 2 days later, like, yeah, that's my boyfriend. I'm like, you just fucked him.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's that quick?
Yeah. Gays and lesbians, they move really quick, man. Like the U-Haul's out next door or next day.
I knew the lesbian thing from
That's-
like personal
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, this is all new to me. This is all new to me. I'm sitting here. I'm like, ooh, tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's,
yeah.
that's how it is though. Cause like,
Okay.
like gays are very sex driven
Okay.
and most gays are afraid of love. So they find that if they hook up with someone once or twice, that is their new person. And they latch onto that.
Really?
Because they use sex as validation for love.
Mm.
Whereas to
Okay.
me, sex is the lowest thing on my list. Intimacy is more important to me than sex.
Okay. So what's like a couple of things that like you would consider intimacy? Because I feel like everybody has different.
Yeah. So
different
for me,
characters.
honestly, just like sitting on the couch at home, some shitty Netflix movie on, like your feet are on my lap or,
Yeah.
you're rubbing my back, whatever the case is, like cuddling in bed. Like that to me is more important than getting my dick sucked. Sorry if I can't
That's
say that
fair.
on here, but
No, you can
No,
say
you
it. We're good.
absolutely
We're on
say that.
Hinge.
That's the whole
We're
point.
unfiltered.
Yeah, absolutely.
right. And I think a lot of
Did you
gays.
say- is quality time? Is that your big
Well,
love
that's what-
language?
yeah,
Is that number
yeah,
one?
quality time and words of affirmation for me.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I don't like receiving gifts. I'm a gift giver.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I hate receiving gifts. I am so awkward.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the same. I actually don't really like getting gifts. It's kind of like
I'm not really used to it. I
kinda,
have like,
it's
I'm
kind
like,
of like thank you. That's
Yeah. I'm
very
like,
nice.
like when dogs get like a bone, they go to the other room.
Yeah.
That's me opening a gift. I'll go to the other room. I don't want you to see my reaction.
really?
Yeah, because like I'm awkward. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, thank you, but like I don't need this. You know what I mean? Because like I can provide for myself.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I always have like a hard time with it as well, but I don't know. I think I'm not really used to it. Like I've always got gifts from my parents, obviously, like growing up, but like girls don't really do that. Like I've never really experienced that. Like being in a relationship where girls are like constantly like gift giving. And I know that some guys do, but it's weird for me as well, but not from like that perspective. Like I feel like you need to like show how appreciative you are over like the gift. Like I could never like just like dip in.
But I think gifts can be done in different ways too, right? Like one of the big things I've started to shift to is like thoughtfulness of gifts and not just being like,
of
oh my
course,
gosh, let me buy you a new sweater, let me buy you whatever, but like
buy you a bag.
what's something that's like actually
missing
like,
in your life.
Yeah, like, you know, going on a trip and experience together, like things can be given as gifts that are like kind of alluding into like quality time or like other things instead of just being like, hey, here's the new like, you know, Louis Vuitton trainers. It's like, thank you, but I could buy these myself. It's not the money. It's like the fact that you plan something that also involves quality time together or an experience, right?
That's what we had said for Christmas this year was let's just do a small gift, you know, like 20, 30 bucks, just so we can open under the tree together.
Cool.
And then use the rest of the money and go to Colombia, Mexico, go back to Rome for New Year's.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Is that what you did? Where'd you go? What were you doing for, or was this like,
because we're still in separation period right now. So we both stayed at our individual houses. I mean, we chatted on New Year's Eve, but we didn't go away.
Yeah.
But I would much prefer a trip or an experience over a gift.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a handwritten card goes so far.
Yeah. Agreed.
A handwritten card?
Agreed.
Yeah. For our anniversary, he wrote me a card, which he's never done in his past relationships. Like, he's like, I don't write cards. I'll sign my name and that's it. He wrote me this beautiful card.
Wow.
And I'm like, that to me is the best gift I've ever received from a partner.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Should I start doing that?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Handwritten, it's less about the physical gift that you give and more about the thought that goes into it, especially little things like cards. Like if you write like a beautiful note in a card and give it to a girl and just give her that card randomly, you're like,
I don't think I'm built for that.
yeah, but that's the thing is other people aren't doing that. Other people don't do that. So like that immediately puts you in a very unique spot. And like it's all about being unique these days. It's easy to just be every other bro.
I think I would just have an issue with like actually writing words out and them getting confused as to what they're reading
the
because
words
it's literal
part or
fucking
the-
no, it's like chicken scratch. Like I'm gonna be trying to say like I love you and it's gonna come out to be like fuck off. Like it's gonna be something stupid in the process. But I get the concept of it. It's very sweet.
Yeah,
it's
like
very thoughtful.
really, when you read a card that's been given to you, like your whole mind changes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait, I love this.
I agree with
need
that.
to hear more
I can
about it.
specifically remember like handwritten cards that were given to me in past relationships.
Really?
Like right now. Yeah, yeah.
You've had girls
Yeah,
write
yeah.
you handwritten
Oh, yeah,
cards?
plenty
You're
of times.
lying.
Plenty of times.
Really?
Plenty of times.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
these?
Yeah.
What am I experiencing?
Like,
Not
I will
that.
always-
Yeah, what are you experiencing?
Yeah, I will always write a handwritten card for every occasion.
Wow.
Anniversary, birthday, Christmas, you name it, Valentine's Day.
I need to hire someone to write it. Like I'll give like the thought behind it. It just I need someone with different.
No,
pen.
you gotta do it
you have to do
yourself.
it yourself.
It has to be
Ugh.
from you. It has to be from
If
you.
you receive
that's
a chicken scratch
2025
card,
Mo. We need handwritten cards.
2025 Mo.
We're gonna keep them accountable.
We're coming different in
2025 Mo is handwritten cards.
We're different in 2025.
We're gonna stitch this down the road.
Yeah.
We're gonna stitch
In
this in like a
2026,
month.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
I want
stitch
to
this
see a
on Valentine's
handwritten.
Day and
I want to
see.
see. Yeah, Valentine's Day. I'm gonna stitch this. We're gonna see a handwritten card from
We're
Mo
gonna figure out what we're
Pooli.
doing for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But, okay, sweet. Yeah. So dating in the city obviously is a little bit different for you, I would say, compared to most people, given who you are and
Yes.
kind of what you bring to the table. What are some of the craziest dating stories, if you have any, with people either in your DMs, social media, meeting on public, whatever the scenario is? Do you have any crazy dating stories?
Yeah, there's a few. I went on a blind date once.
Okay.
And it was at a restaurant that I'm connected to, so I knew the maitre d' and I knew the kitchen staff, which is a great out for me.
Yeah.
So I walked in. I just had a black blazer on and a very deep V-neck, and the
Okay.
guy was, from what I could see before he opened his mouth, was very cute.
Yeah.
Then he started speaking, and
Oh no.
a little bit awkward. He's like, you shouldn't wear deep V-necks like that because a vampire could bite you. And I'm like, wait, easy there, Twilight. And then he
Wait, what?
No. Homeboy flashed his fangs at me. He had his eye teeth shaped into fangs.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Yeah. And then like ran his tongue over his teeth. And I was like,
Oh.
awesome. I'm like, can you order me a glass of wine? I have to use the bathroom real quick. I went to the back, looked at the chef. I'm like, out the back door. Thank you. I left.
That's. I respect that. I respect that. That is going nowhere
You
good right
respect
away.
that?
If that's the first thing somebody says to you, no, that he just left at the back door right away.
Oh.
Oh, I respect that so much. There was nothing good going on that date.
No.
There was literally nothing.
Okay, wait, what was
Nothing
the
good could
aftermath,
have come
though?
from that.
Did he like message you after?
Yeah, he texted me like, asking where I went. I'm like, we're good. We're good.
We're good.
So
Yeah.
nothing ever came of it.
No.
No, obviously,
No.
I mean, like nothing progressed, but like
No.
no backlash,
No.
nothing.
No. But I've had
Continue.
I've had like a lot of people by DMs asking me out and whatever, but a lot of them are just like, they want James in the city. They want
That's what I was
the
going to
celebrity aspect. They want to go to my events. They want to, they want a piece of the pie. I'm like, you don't get James in the city without getting James.
So how do you differentiate it? Like, how can you tell that like Nathan, for example, is like different?
Because he had
From-
no idea who I was.
So is that the only thing? Like, what if they know who you are still, but like can you still separate it? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. So like, after my divorce, I dated a few guys that I knew personally, but it was because me. It was for I don't like dates. I don't like small talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was comfort for me knowing that I already knew them,
Sure.
right? But at the same time, I want someone who doesn't know my brand,
Yeah.
right? So when I got on Hinge, I literally had my pin set to like Miami, Connecticut, Newport, Hamptons. I just wanted like a really rich Republican.
Money.
Yeah.
Right.
Money.
I just wanted like a
baby.
Donald Trump loving homo. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. Palm Beach, America.
Pretty much. Like just like
Yeah.
leave me at the breakers and I'm happy.
Yeah. Real.
So
Real.
with Nathan, when he messaged me, it was literally on Hinge and it was like, you're cute, we're in similar industries. Let's meet for a glass of wine, 5:30 Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, so this is the Ruby Soho. Nathan was Ruby Soho.
yeah.
Nathan, we got to do better, Nathan. Ruby Soho?
So what I was telling my friends is they're like, I love the fact that he picked the one bar that you hate. I'm like, I know. So it was either a test or he has no idea who the fuck I am. So we're having a glass of wine. I started baiting him all these questions. And he's like, dude, I don't know who you are. Like, I've never heard of you before.
Oh, you tried. You brought it
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Because like he's also in real estate, but he has a full-time corporate job. And I'm like, if you're in real estate, you know who I am. Like, everybody knows who I'm in real
Yeah.
estate. He had no idea who I was.
Really?
So the glass of wine turned to a bottle. And then the bottle turned to us going down to Barrow for dinner.
True.
So the
Okay.
night progressed in the right way because he had no idea who I was.
Yeah.
And
It's gotta be super refreshing to
Yeah.
like go on that date and like it actually feel like this person doesn't kind of have like a preconceived notion of you on that date already.
yeah. So I took his number that night and I added him on Instagram 2 days later.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Like I tried to search him, but he had like a really weird username.
Yeah.
So I couldn't figure out who he was.
Yeah.
So I added him on Instagram 2 days later. And by date 5, he spent the night.
Interesting. Okay, wait. I have so many more questions now, just about like the Instagram thing. So you progress. So when you're on Hinge, first of all, were you using any other apps at the same time? Like, what's the
Yeah, I mean,
What's
I
the
had
app
like
name?
I had Grindr and Scruff as well.
what's Scruff?
Scruff is
Yeah.
like it's Grindr but for guys with beards.
Wait, what?
Oh, honey, there's a lot of apps.
Yo,
out there. Yeah.
can you walk us through like what's popular and what's popping for the people who don't know?
So
and that-
Grindr's kind of like the everybody app.
Sure.
Then Scruff is for men with beards or men who like beards or hairier men. Then there's
Okay.
Growler, which is for for bears and chubs and chubby chasers.
Okay.
What the fuck? Wait,
Why-
really?
there's definitely more. I can see the fingers still going here. There's definitely more.
Then there's, to be honest, I don't know how much is left because I don't use anything. But yeah, those were I was only on Grindr and Scruff, like pre Nathan.
Okay.
But I'm not a hookup kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I use the apps more for like validation that I'm hot.
Yeah.
When I'm
Valid-
single, I'm like just tell me that I'm hot.
I do
It's
the same.
real.
I do the same thing all the time.
But I'm not a
Sometimes I'm like,
hookup-
I'm feeling
I'm
kind of
not a
sad. Let
hookup
me just
guy.
like download Hinge.
Yeah. Like I'm not a hookup guy. Like I'm a very sexual person when I'm in a relationship,
Okay.
but I'm not a sexual person outside of that. Like
Okay.
I'm
Sure.
not gonna go run around and fuck 30 guys in a weekend
Okay.
again.
Again.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
18. I don't
We've
have that
all
stamina.
Been there,
we've
done
all
that.
been there.
Been there,
Yeah,
done that.
it's-
We're
it's
over it
phases.
at this point.
It's phases.
I'm in like my mid 30s now, right? So
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to it. So with your thing with Nathan, so you
Yeah.
did Hinge,
yes.
and then you progressed to the number, then Instagram.
Yeah. So I gave him my number. Actually, I think I asked for his number at the end of dinner at Barrow
Okay.
because he lived in Liberty Village at the time, and I live, on
Wherever-
King Street.
yeah.
Well, I don't care. Everyone knows I live on King Street. So I walked him to Portland, but he knew I lived across the street. So he's like, "So you live right here, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "So," I'm like, "You can have a good night."
Oh.
He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You're not coming upstairs." He's like, "Oh, why?" And I'm like, "I don't fuck him the first date." He's like, "I'll see you tomorrow." I'm like, "You absolutely will not see me tomorrow." I made him wait.
Good.
Interesting.
So I saw him. That was a Monday night. I saw him on the Wednesday. We went to Marble because again,
Sure.
King Street.
King
Yeah.
Street,
King
you're
Street
there.
rats till
Yeah.
we die.
right? But honestly, I love Marble. It's just like it's a nice vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
R.I.P. Marble. But that was our second date, and then it just progressed from there, and that was it.
Interesting. And then you went to the Instagram after that. So that's where my I always wonder, especially with dating apps and stuff, because it's where do you go from the dating app? Like, do you go straight to Instagram or do you go straight to the number? Because I don't really like giving out. It's not like a fan favorite for me to give out my number.
I
like
don't
that.
give up my number to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
But,
like,
but with Nathan, you were like, we're good.
Yeah,
I give out my number to everybody.
So like
hate it,
for me,
bro.
because like my brand is
so
public,
bad.
my business is public. You can Google me and find my phone number, so it's out there.
Okay.
But I don't like giving my number out to people because I just don't want to be contacted by certain people.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it.
Right. So I knew the date was going well, and I could see that there was something about him that I was really wanting to get to know more.
Okay.
Because I'm the kind of guy, like, if I don't feel the date's going anywhere, I'm done.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, I'll grab the check and, like, off you go.
Yeah.
Because like I've done that in the past. Like when I was single, I went on a couple dates. I'm like, we're good.
Yeah.
Like after the first round of drinks, I'm like, I'm done. Like you can have a good night.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right. But with Nathan, it was something different. So I'm like, here's my number, here's my IG, and then 5 days later, here's my dick.
Here is my dick. That is
And
one quote for the books. That's crazy.
That's the opening line of the podcast.
I need
Here's
that.
my dick.
We need to like clip that as like the first line opening. Here is my dick for the beginning of the podcast. I love that. That's fucking hilarious.
Was there a moment, like a catalyst moment, where you were like, yeah, this is my guy? Or like, yeah, this is somebody that I want to be like serious with? Like, was there one memorable moment where you were like, this is somebody I want to take seriously?
Yeah, you know what? I can't give you like an actual date or time or memory, whatever it is. But I remember just looking over at him, and this is gonna sound so cheesy, but like my soul just felt at peace.
I have chills.
And I've never felt this way
that.
outside of the first person I ever fell in love with, and that's my best friend.
I love that.
I fell in love with Danielle the day that I met her.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a girl. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Danielle, she knows it. Like she is my soulmate. Like I fell in love with her the day that I met her.
Yeah.
And we are the best of friends.
Okay.
Like it's been 20 some odd years.
Wow.
No, that's nice.
That's
And
beautiful.
yeah, I was her man of honor at her wedding.
Love that.
I missed the birth of her child because he was premature, but like we've been in each other's lives since day one.
Yeah.
And
That's
she's
nice.
the only other person I've ever loved as much as I love Nathan.
I think that's the thing
Beautiful.
with soulmates, though. I think there's like multiple, and like I've said this before, where like I have like very close friends to me outside, like Chris, obviously, but like I have other very close friends that I've grown up with who I also believe are like we're like tied to. Like it's like my dog forever. Like no matter what,
Yeah.
doesn't matter where I am at in life or like where they are. If we don't talk for like weeks, months, whatever the case may be, it's like the same type of love, and I get that 100%.
Like I had love for my ex-husband, but it was a very different love.
Yeah.
Like it was more. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Companionship's the wrong word, but it's not, it was more like it was companionship but love at the same time. Whereas with Nathan, it's like it's soul.
Well, it's different too. Like you guys met when you were really young. No, like when you were.
Well, my ex was
when you
much
were-
older than I was.
Yeah, but you were really young.
I was
is what I'm saying.
20 when I met him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's super young.
Yeah.
Very formative as well.
Yeah,
still.
exactly. That's what I was
So,
gonna
like,
say.
now you're like, I feel like I'm sure now you're very much more yourself than you were at 20. 'cause you
Absolutely.
figured yourself out,
And
right?
you know what? Like my ex-husband and I, we met for dinner a couple weeks ago, and we had to squash a couple things, and we've moved forward as friends. And it was like nothing had ever happened, like negatively. So it was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
So I've repaired my relationship with him and my previous partner. Both relationships ended pretty badly. But again, with Nathan, it's a different feeling. So I can't give you a date and time of
Yeah.
when or what.
But
But
that
it's
was a feeling, and
Yeah.
that was exactly it,
Like,
right? Like
my
I'm always
soul
curious,
just
what's
knew.
your moment, right? Because we've all dated,
Yeah.
right? Like we've all dated, but like there's certain people that are special,
Mhm.
and that you gave me exactly what I was looking for. There.
Yeah, it was just like my soul just knew. Like my soul feels at home when I'm with him.
yeah,
That's really nice.
I think that's special.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then transitioning from that, let's talk about the bad side of dating.
Yeah.
Because that's like our favorite fucking topic to
hell
speak
yeah.
about. What are some big red flags that you find when you were single or when you were dating? What were like the major red flags that you would see in guys?
Clinginess.
Clinginess?
I don't like a very clingy guy. Like don't.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
you know, if I tell you I'm busy, don't ask me what I'm doing, or don't show up. That's why I don't post in real time on my social
True.
media.
Okay.
And if I do, it's at a location most people won't get to. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, don't show up if I'm posting something on social media looking for me.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah,
No,
I've had a
it's-
lot of clingers.
That's not clingy. That's like fucking stalker.
Stalkerish.
That's like
people,
fucking
people
weird.
showing up.
Yeah.
That's fucking
That's-
weird.
I've had
That's not even
people-
clingy.
I've
Yeah.
had people show up.
Yeah.
What?
Before.
Where?
Not on dates.
No,
Actually,
no.
not myself. I've definitely been out with people where like girls have showed up, not for me, but for other people personally,
Really?
because they've seen social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People are weird.
Absolutely.
People are fucking weirdos, dog. Honest to God. That's
absolutely.
strange.
I think it's much more common than you think, especially the longer and the more your face is out there publicly, and people start to like develop these fallacies or these crushes on you,
Yeah.
because they have this like fantasy, and then if they can access you or they can see where you are, they can pursue that fantasy, right?
Yeah.
And I would imagine in your world it's even more amplified like that.
100%. One thing I don't like though is if it's like the first couple dates, whatever, you're still getting to know each other. But if like 2-3 weeks have gone by and you two are hitting that exclusive, we're not seeing other people phase.
Yeah.
If I'm on a date with you and your phone buzzes and it's a Grindr notification, we're done.
A grinder notification. Oh, like if they're like still in dating apps and
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
Because like when I'm dating someone, like everything gets deleted right away.
Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
similar.
Like
yeah.
usually by like date 4 or 5, I delete all the apps. I'm like, I want to get this to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm enjoying you. So I'm not fucking around.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Like some people keep the apps, but not.
No,
hook up.
I agree. I agree with that. The second things actually progress into like we are dating. It doesn't mean that you have to like cut everybody else or this or that right away. But like I'm off the apps right away.
Yeah, you should
The
not
second
be
something
on
is
any app.
moderately serious.
Well, like the whole point is to get to that point. And if you're there, why are you still using it?
Yeah.
But then,
You know what I mean?
and then
It's
you're
the
just
same idea.
playing the game of like, in my opinion, the dating apps just like water it down where you're like, oh, this person's really great, but like there could be better. Let me just like keep checking for new people on Hinge, right? Like
Yeah.
at a certain point, get rid of it, invest into this person and see if it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Or cut this person and continue your cycle of looking for the right person on an app, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then if we're talking about red flags in relationships, what are some red flags in real estate that you've noticed? Like big, like we're talking, I know like ICE condos is like obviously like the most notorious building in the city for not to be living in.
Yeah.
What are some other like really big red flags that you've noticed while doing tours or house like whatever the case may be?
I would say right off the bat, a big red flag is realtors who lie about how much business that they do.
Realtors who lie about
Yeah.
it? Oh, so not necessarily the building itself.
Oh
but
no,
the person
we'll
who's
get
showing
into
it.
that. But
Sure,
there's a lot of
okay.
realtors, especially now with social media, who lie about what they do.
Okay.
You know, like I've sold $160 million worth of real estate last year. No, your fucking brokerage did, not you.
yeah,
There's no way you sold that much fucking real estate.
Scuffing the numbers to make themselves
Right? Or like I did
absolutely.
52 deals this year. Nah, you didn't. You're barely 5'2".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So here's a question that I had for you is, have you ever had somebody who wanted to use you for real estate, but was actually like using that as a ruse to like get closer to you, to try and like hook up with you, date you, that kind of stuff?
yes.
Because I've heard that happens from the female perspective, but I'd love to hear from yours as well.
Yep. I had a listing that I had to be present for every single, mind you, I was in a relationship at this point. I was with my ex-husband. I had to be present for every single showing. And this guy saw my ad, wanted to see it, like, not a problem. So I pre-vetted him.
Yeah.
Met him at a coffee shop beforehand. Cause if I meet someone new, I always meet them outside of, the home.
Of course. Yeah.
So vetted him, did the whole FinTrack, buyer agency agreement, the whole 9 yards. We're touring the house. And at one point he reaches around and grabs my dick.
No shit.
And I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, well,
That's crazy.
yeah. And he's like, well, it's a vacant house.
Like,
He's I
like
find
we're
you
just
attractive.
talking like just out of nowhere, boom,
Yeah.
grabs the horn.
I like
Yeah.
that Chris had to do the action to like understand what's grabbing a dick look like.
Well,
Let me reach around and get a good fucking squeeze
He's
on
trying to
it.
remember what happened this morning in the
yeah,
shower.
but
Whatever you two are doing in your free time,
let's go.
I need to know
Let's
off
go.
camera. We need to like
we would have the best OnlyFans.
What the fuck
I mean,
are we talking
if
about?
if this continues to go the way it's going, you never know.
What are we
You never
talking
know.
about?
Money talks. At this
Money
point,
talks,
money
oh, yeah.
talks.
Would you do an OnlyFans?
If you pay me enough money at this point, I'll do just about anything.
Yep.
You too?
I'll look right in the camera and say that.
Oh,
For
yeah.
enough money, I'll do just about anything at this point in my life.
100%. I'm like the Lisa Rinna of doing anything. I'll say yes to anything for $1.
Interesting. For $1.
I used to have way more like stiff standards of myself and stuff, and now I'm becoming more malleable and like, if I just like helicoptered my cock one time, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
If I helicoptered my cock one time. Okay, can we get back to the story about you getting molested in the fucking
Sorry.
house, please? I can't listen to Chris helicoptering his dick at all, please.
So yeah, I got a reach around from him, and I don't look aggressive, but I can be aggressive very quickly.
You give aggressive, like you
Yeah.
don't give off like friendly, like you. No, you. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean
No,
like
You give off friendly energy, but I could definitely see you
Yeah.
as like a pit
Like-
bull. Where,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
in the best way possible.
No,
I wasn't
exactly.
trying to be like
I know.
a dickhead.
I know what you meant. Like I go from 0 to 100 real quick.
For sure. Yeah, I get that.
And this guy got 100 real fucking quick. So like I forcefully escorted him out of the house.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grab him back by his and drag him out of the house? That would have been a power
I
move.
couldn't find it.
That's fair.
Couldn't find
Fair.
it.
It happens
Small
to the
dick
best of
syndrome,
them.
man.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, unfortunately more common than we think.
Sick. You're fucked up, bro.
Welcome to episode 1 of Stories for Your
Yeah,
Grandkids.
literally the first fucking story we pop off. Chris is left hanging now.
Oh,
There you go.
I
It's
can't.
okay, I'll
I,
close
got,
my eye. I know.
I need to like sit this one to see both of you.
I know. No, that's
No,
crazy.
you need the lizard eyes that just go.
So then what happened after that? You hear from him again?
No.
Did he reach out?
No,
Nothing?
but I've had like a lot of people reach out like through social media wanting me to come list their house or help them buy a house, and it's like, oh, like I thought it would be a great date. I'm like, we're not. I'm not.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought this would be a great date. It's
You got to start
crazy.
putting like deposits down for your time.
Yeah.
Just like if you're gonna do this, especially if they reach out through social media.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, I had
Yeah.
a potential client kiss me after leaving dinner at La Banane because he wanted to get to know me better because he was interviewing a couple agents. And he's like, my condo's going through renovations right now, so can we meet? I'm like, yeah, not a problem. We'll meet for dinner. I figured, Ossington's a nice spot. It's public.
Yeah.
Lebanon's a great spot. It's,
Beautiful
it's
restaurant,
not too busy, so you can hear the conversations. So we finished dinner. I grabbed the bill. We walk outside. I walk towards my car, and he grabs my hand and he kisses me. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, this would have been a date. I'm like, do you date every realtor you're interviewing?
Maybe.
He's like, well, that's kind of the hook that I use to get you here.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking
So you
insane.
have incidents like that cause you to vet more now? The
I'm
clients
usually
that you're
pretty
dealing
good at
with and stuff,
vetting.
or-
Yeah, like I'm usually pretty good at vetting. But again, I verified this guy's name. I checked the public record so I could see that he owned the condo he was talking about.
Yeah.
So it all checked out. Right?
That's crazy that you have to go through that much extra legwork, though. And not that other real estate agents wouldn't, but just because of your public facingness and again, the fantasy that some people have to make sure that these people are who they say they are. They actually own the spot. This is actually a business interaction and not just like them trying to use this as an excuse.
But even I go like a step further sometimes. Like I have my location sharing on to certain people when I'm going. Like I know I would never have it on all the time.
Yeah.
But I'll send it to someone for the hour that I'm in this one. I'm like, this is my address. This is the client that I'm meeting.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate for sure.
Yeah,
But, like I make
absolutely.
sure I take off any flashy jewelry. I leave it in my car.
Yeah.
I put my ID in my shoe, like not in my sock, but like in my insole.
Why?
God forbid something happens and my shoe gets left behind, they can find my ID.
Yeah.
See
That's
that I
actually
was
really
there.
smart.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I always keep a pocket
Well,
knife on me.
Sorry. A pocket knife?
Yeah.
As you should.
You never know what's going to happen. Like
I agree.
So there
I
was a
didn't
realtor
realize.
in the States. Her name was Beverly Carter, and she was targeted and murdered because of her wealth and her fame and her success. And you can never be too careful. So I always keep precautions
I
in
agree.
place to make sure that I'm protected. And as a man, you don't think about it.
You can share
No,
my
I was gonna
location.
say, I've
you
never-
can share your location after. I'll come get you if anything happens.
Thanks, Daddy.
The flirting on this podcast is just like, and now Chris is gonna say, why is Church Street in my comment section?
It's because I secretly have plastered Chris's face over every urinal. at so when the guys are going
Thank
pee,
you for your
it's like,
services.
Daddy Chris.
They're renaming Woody's to
I'll take it.
Polly's. That's what they're.
This is crazy.
Oh, that's fucked up. So then, okay, yeah. So red flags with like buildings. Then, what are like some major things to be looking for new renters, new buyers? What's the
So with a buyer, always have the stat certificate reviewed by your lawyer. Because you want to make sure that it's you've got a healthy reserve fund, you've got, an equal balance of tenants and owners. But also look at the building and how it looks on the outside, right? Is the building run down? Is it clean? Is there garbage lying around? How's the concierge when you walk in? Is it a friendly concierge? Right? Like I would say drive by the building you want to buy into or rent into at nighttime. And scope it at night.
Yeah,
Because
I've
the
heard that one
daytime
before.
is a very different feel. At nighttime, it tells you a whole different story.
Check the crime finder too is something that my pops told me is like you can check the map of where incidents happen. Not that they don't happen all the time, but like look, if there's a specific incident pocket right by that building, something's probably going on there, right?
Yeah.
interesting?
Yeah.
These are all good little tips. Okay, sweet. That's like it's shit that I wouldn't even think about. Like driving by at night, I would never even think twice.
I always say to my clients, like drive by, even a house, like drive by the bed at nighttime and see what it's like at night. Because like homes look great in the daytime, but you drive by a street at night and have there's no streetlights on.
Yeah.
It's probably not the best feeling.
Yeah.
It feels
Or
weird.
sometimes the crowd changes from day to night as
Oh,
well, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I remember the first apartment I ever rented. I was like, 19 years old. And I drove by at night. I'm like, I am not living here. I am not living here. The
Yeah.
street is not for me.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so keeping on that topic of like transitioning into maybe back into dating a little bit, if we're talking about some things that people could be improving on when it comes to dating, because I think obviously like I want to be the best version of me when it comes to dating anybody. Chris is in the same boat. But I think a lot of guys are in positions of not necessarily knowing where they're going wrong. Whether it's like straight guys, gay guys, whatever the case may be, what are some pieces of advice you would give somebody to try and bring out the best version of themselves, whether they're in a relationship, whether they're trying to start dating, the whole scenario?
I would say focus on who you are first.
Okay.
Like be comfortable with yourself before you get into a relationship. And like I said earlier, know your boundaries and your non-negotiables. But also, if you're dating someone, you should have eyes for that person only.
Yeah.
Like if you're on a date and your girl or your guy goes to the bathroom, you should not be scanning the fucking crowd to see what else is in there.
It's true.
It is true.
It's so
Right?
true. Yeah.
It is true.
It sounds so simple, but it's like it's something that people don't pay attention to.
And be open with your person, whether it's a girlfriend or a partner down the road, like when that next relationship stage. If someone's in your DMs you tell your partner that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I get hit on all the time. Like, I've had guys at the gym hit on me. I had a guy smack my ass at the gym once. I tell Nathan everything.
That was
Yeah.
actually me.
And well, yeah,
Here we
it's
go
on that
again.
one.
Here we go again. Motherfuckers.
But that's like, you have to be open because you don't want secrets. You don't want things to come out in the end,
of course.
right? Like, God forbid I don't tell him something and he sees a message. He's like, what the fuck is this?
It's weird.
I'm open because I shut down every message that comes in. Like, I get a lot of those messages. I shut them down right away,
Yeah.
right? But I'm open to like, hey, listen, this is the message I got in today, right? Just letting you know. This is my response.
Yeah.
And have you been cheated on before?
Yes.
Is that why? Do you find like it's like a response like from that? Is that like
It's that was also like, I'm very old school. Like,
Yeah.
I believe in respect,
Yeah.
right? So like, if I'm being messaged or hit on or DM'd by some random, my partner should know that,
of course.
Yeah.
right? It's a respect thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm not
No, I
gonna
think
hide
so
it.
too.
Absolutely. And you should have a partner who's secure enough as well and respects you for sharing those things too, right? Like if you can't be like, oh yeah, like some guy or some girl was in my DMs flirting with me with this person, I shut it down. I just want you to know. If that person gets mad at you about that, I think that's a reflection of them, and maybe you need to reevaluate your partner as well because you need to have that open communication.
100%.
We're in the social media era, especially if you're more public facing with things.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen, right? If you're not on social media, different story. But
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna tell him when the girls hit on me because like he doesn't care if a girl hits on me.
No, he's probably like absolutely. There's fucking reasons for it.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
and it's weird. Like, I get, especially now, I get more female DMs than men.
Really?
Oh, all the time.
I feel like girls love gay guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like me just making assumptions, but I feel like women love gay men, and I don't know if it's the same way that gay men love straight men. Because I know a lot of guys. No, because that's
the love triangle.
No, but I swear to God,
Yeah.
that's the thing where gay guys love straight men, and I don't know if it's like an attempt to like do whatever and like make that switch, but like I feel like girls are the same way. Like I have a gay best friend, and he's like literally the love of my life. I love this man for the rest. This is my brother. But like the amount of women that flirt with him, hit on him, try and fuck him, like it's astounding to me. And I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I'm straight. Like, hi.
Yeah.
He's not going for you. He's done. Like, we're here. You know what I mean? Like in the past, like it's a thing. So like, I don't get it. It's like such a weird, even like with gay guys, with
It's
straight
like
men,
it's the
strange.
broken love triangle where like the girls like the gays like the straight men like
The girls.
the girls, and it just keeps going in a circle of like.
Yeah.
Have you had experiences where like you've like flirted with the idea of like dealing with women, like at this point in your life?
Well, I mean, I've been with women in the past.
Okay,
So
you're not a golden star. I know the term.
No, I'm not a golden.
I know the golden star. I know
I'm not a golden star.
I know
gay.
I know the terms.
I don't think I could ever date or be in a relationship with a woman.
Okay.
I could sleep with a woman
Yeah.
very easily.
Okay.
Again, like as long as I find her attractive, I could do it.
Okay.
I have a type for.
I was gonna say, what's the type?
Blonde hair, blue eyes, big tits.
No shit.
I'm like,
really?
Yeah, I want like a.
You guys are
porn
competing.
star.
Now you guys are gonna be
we have the
competing.
same type.
Well,
We have the
you
same
know.
type.
Well, now you're really competing because you're competing for the gays and the same type of women. At least I'm out of all the pictures. My type is so different, so that's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's like my female type is like a Pam Anderson looking.
a Pam Anderson's a good.
That's a vibe.
Yeah.
That's a good prototype.
That's a classic.
I like that. What's the what's like the type of women that like approach you though? Do you find it's like similar to that, like blonde hair, blue eyes, big tits?
It's a good mix. It's you know, usually a lot of housewives.
Oh,
Like you know the
Interesting.
older women.
and is that like? Would you ever like? I know you're like again, you're gay and you do the thing with your like with Nathan and you guys are together or whatever. But like, if an older woman approached you, that you would like, is there an age limit there? It would if there was a possibility.
Somewhere between 40 and coffin.
Anything.
I respect
So
that.
literally
I respect
anything.
that. So literally,
So literally,
So-
as long as
so-
they have a pulse,
so-
big tits, and blue
so-
eyes, you're so funny.
older, just older. That's it.
Honestly, like I don't know. Like I mean, if I was single and an opportunity arose, and if I found the person attractive and the energy was great, yeah, I'd entertain an evening.
Interesting.
But would I date a woman? Never again.
Never again.
Never
When was the
again.
last time you dated a woman?
Oh God, high school.
Oh, so it's been time.
Yeah.
Interesting. I always found that like you attract the type of people that you look like. And I know that this might be strange, but like I always find that like I'm attracted to girls who like not look like me because I don't want them to look like me, but like dark features, darker skin tone, like a little bit culturally looking. So like I find it when you're the same way, like blonde hair, blue
Yeah,
eyes,
it's
like
true. It's
fair
true.
skin,
Yeah.
like it's the same. I always found that with people, and like so to hear that, because you're not like blonde hair, blue eyes, like
No.
don't you think it's a little like do you like guys like that too? Is like your type of men the same way?
No, my type of men varies, to be honest. Like if you look at my last 3 relationships, I'm like last 2 and Nathan, they're all very different. Except my ex-husband and Nathan are very similar, not aesthetically, but from a personality standpoint.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm more of a personality energy person. Like
Yeah.
I have to find you attractive. I'm very shallow. I have to find you very attractive to begin with.
No, I respect
fair.
that.
You need to have a nice smile. Like I'm a big thing with nice smile, nice eyes,
Yeah.
100%.
and then everything else kind of falls into place.
Me and you sound like the same type of. We got the same vibe going.
It's
on.
European than us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Italian. Mine's the Italian, but I have Middle Eastern too.
Okay.
I'm like a solid mix, Persian Italian.
Okay.
It's dangerous.
Did you grow up in Woodbridge?
No, Niagara Falls.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Oh,
not that bad.
that's you know, and
Yeah. No, it's not that big. It's not that bad.
Mm.
It's not. Everybody has this rap with Niagara Falls. I swear to God, it's not that.
I'm from Mono, Ontario.
Yeah, he's from butt nowhere. So if
Where?
you got- yeah,
Outside of
exactly.
Orangeville.
Where?
Exactly.
Suburbs.
Yeah.
I'm a city kid.
Yeah.
Were you born and raised Toronto?
Oh, Richmond Hill.
Oh, so
Oh,
you know.
okay.
Woodbridge is
Come on.
not that fucking different. You got more of my people there than anything. There's Persians left, right, and fucking center.
Okay, so Richmond Hill in the 90s was all Greeks and Italians, and then
True.
your paisans all moved in.
Yeah.
They all moved in.
Yeah.
They stormed the fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, so we have a few more minutes left. Obviously, Stories for the Grandkids is a concept of wanting to give stories
Mhm.
for your grandkids that you might not necessarily have a chance of telling. So is there a story you'd like to share that you might not ever have a chance to publicly talk about? Obviously, you talk about fucking everything, but is there any crazy stories, unhinged stories, whether it's dating, life, real estate, whatever the case may be, that you'd like to discuss with us today?
I don't know, man. Like my life's an open book. I think I've shared everything on my social media, so I don't think there's a single story that I have not shared.
Interesting.
I could give it from a piece of advice though.
Beautiful. Let's
to,
do
to
that.
future
I like that.
grandkids. So
Dude.
I spent a hot minute as a auxiliary parent to a previous partner, and if I had the chance to watch these kids grow up, and I would just instill in them from day one, never fall down the drug path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it may sound like fun, it may look cool, your friends may want to do it. Don't do it because it will ruin your fucking life. Because the drugs, and I'm talking from my personal experience,
Yeah.
the drugs turned to a couple suicide attempts, and it really took me down a very dark path.
Yeah.
And to the point where like life is not worth living anymore.
Mm.
So stay away from drugs. And if you are contemplating ending your life, reach out to the person who makes you the happiest,
Yeah.
because that person's gonna talk you off that fucking ledge.
Real.
I love
honest
that.
to
Right,
God,
so
yeah.
I
that-
love that. And I think that's a message that needs to get spoken more
Yeah.
too, right? Like it's a serious topic that we don't talk about enough, or sometimes we make light, we make jokes out of it, but in all reality, it is serious. It does ruin lives. And
Yeah.
like talk to somebody.
Especially as I'm gonna generalize here, as men,
for sure.
right? Like
Mhm.
we are always taught to be stoic, proud, don't show your emotions.
Absolutely.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Show your emotions. It's
I
okay to
agree.
cry. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to not want to go to work today. It's
Yeah.
okay to sit at home and sit in your bed and cry for hours so you get what you have to get out of you and then get back up and keep going. Like Cardi B said it best. I've been knocked down 9 times, but I'll get up 10.
I just saw you
Yeah.
post this
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
It's
yeah,
true
yeah.
though. And I do think like as men bottling things up, it comes out in other ways.
Yes.
And you need to learn how to properly process things. And like, yes, it's easy to be numb. Yes, it's easy to use things to numb.
Yeah.
But eventually that's going to come up in different ways and it's going to feel 10 times worse when it does. So just
Yeah.
like stop trying to be the man and be a man and feel your shit.
Exactly. Feel your shit and just own up to it. And if you fucked up in something, call yourself out and apologize to whoever you fucked up to. Just be open and be honest and be authentic. And this is a line that I always say, and I have it tattooed over my heart. And like whatever you're doing in life, do it authentically, always and always.
I love that.
That's how I've always ended every single podcast whenever they ask me for a piece of advice.
And
And
beautiful. We're
I was going to say we're
getting
at
there.
time. This is my mic drop moment here, but it's like live your life authentically and do things, whatever you do in life, do them 100% always and always.
I love that.
I love that.
Well, thank
too.
you, because I think that's a piece of advice I'm going to take with me, and I'm sure Chris will too. So,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, dude, thanks for having me.
Like,
Thank you.
what a historic moment. Toronto icon. We
James
have
in the
here.
city, in the city.
In the
James
city.
in the city,
Yeah.
in the city, in the studio, in the podcast, Stories for the Grandkids. This is the first episode. We're gonna have plenty more coming out for you. A long list of creators, long list of people from Toronto. But we had to start it off right. So thank you so
Honored.
much.
The
Appreciate
man,
the
the
time.
myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Super fucking honored, guys.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate
yeah.
it. All right.
Beautiful.